single platform. So whether you want to interact through self-service, whether you want to interact through mobile banking, whether you want to interact through agency banking, whether you want to pay with a mobile, whether you want to pay with a card, that's what we bring for all of these banks together through a single platform. So if you think about it, across maybe 34, 35 countries in Africa, that's what we do for some of the leading brands like ABSA, like Standard Bank, like Standard Chartered, like Access Bank, and we're very, very pleased today to be adding DFCU to that impressive roster of brands that we work with. If we think about what we do as a platform, or what would be different for DFCU's customers, we believe we're going to be able to roll out a range of new innovative services to DFCU's customers today. So whether you want to use the ATM, for example, we will be bringing cardless access, so you won't actually even have to bring your card to use the ATM. So contactless ATM withdrawals, one of the initiatives that we will be bringing to the market. If you think about it from a payment perspective, people are very used to debit cards, but we'll be bringing a range of prepaid card services, both virtual and physical prepaid cards, enabling that for DFCU, for them to bring it to those, for their customers as well. But also in terms of how do we bring more people into the ecosystem, financial inclusion is a very important aspect of overall digital transformation, and we believe we have a lot of capabilities in our platform that would allow banks like DFCU to be able to add more value to customers right through all the different customer segments, both on the commercial and on the retail side. And I think that's the beauty of running a platform like CR2, that it is very, very scalable and enables new channels to be added, new capabilities to be added, all in a very seamless way, depending on the type of customer segments that you're actually.
Now, meanwhile, the managing director of DFCU Bank, that is Matthias Katamba, did have certain things to also talk about, on the other hand, of initiating this particular contract, but how is it going to be helping the customers of the bank in particular, because you get to realize it is for the clients or the customers who are accessing these particular banking services. So in the other way, this is what he had to say in regards to the same situation.
I think first of all, the world is changing, and the way people transact and the way they interact with the world is changing, and payments are increasingly becoming digital. It will not be very unusual in the not too distant future to pay for your groceries in the normal market, like Nakasero market, using a digital payment. Actually, you're already doing it because you're using mobile money. So the adoption in Uganda is really high. In our part of the world, generally in East Africa, adoption is really high. And what we already see it in the trend of our own transactions as a bank. 70% of our transactions plus are already digital in nature. And we expect that this will increase. There will be transactions that will remain, cash, for instance, that will require physical engagement, especially around enterprise development and that sort of thing. But the adoption for digital will increase. And for us, getting a partner like CR2, upgrading our system, getting this open architecture is really intended to future-proof business on the payment side. Increase and improve our ability to innovate, to work with different fintechs, increase our speed to market on different fronts. Really, that's what it's intended to do. For the customer, all you'll experience at the front end is a much more seamless experience. A faster experience, a much more versatile experience. And that will continue increasingly. Yeah.
As a business update, that's be coming to you live from this particular morning, as these were some of the key aspects in regards to the contract that was signed between DFCU and CR2, which is mainly a partnership to enhance digital transactions and also making it easier for the bankers as well as customers to the DFCU to at least adapt to the digital transformation of making banking easy, not only with your phone but also in easier means that will make it accessible for you as the economies are driving to the cashless side. So that is something that you need to have in mind behind the headlines here this morning. Well, besides that, now let's go into the Smb press review, looking at what is making headlines from the papers. And now with the press review, President Museveni has explained the teachers' salaries according to the new vision, as all public servants are to get salary enhancement. So President Museveni, this was during the celebration at the Kololo airstrip yesterday, and he did unveil as well the best teachers at the national celebration. Well, remember yesterday we had a report here from the new vision as well, highlighting that 180,000 teachers in the country are at risk of losing their jobs. Reason being that the new mandate for teachers and for the education ministry is to ensure that every teacher coming in has a degree before entering class. Now, most of them are only diploma and certificate holders, so that is another key to worry about. Well, also today is the International World AIDS Day. So when you look at this particular one, there is a 17-page regarding HIV fighting in the country. So pretty much as we are celebrating the AIDS Day across the world, you should be reminded that it is very it's something that you should be having in your mind, that you really need to be cautious as you do anything in regards to whether it is sexually concerned. You need to be very cautious. Either way, you can be faithful. There are all those particular situations that you need to follow in case we are to curb the spread of HIV/AIDS in Uganda. So that is something that you should be picking up this particular morning with the new vision. Now, also on the other hand, with the Daily Monitor, President Museveni tells of teachers. This is the Daily Monitor. Now, there's also another issue to do with the minister blaming rogues enforcers for attack. This particular attack goes back to the situation of the state of security in the country. Also, on the other hand, as you can definitely see, you will be looking at more stories regarding the HIV/AIDS spread in the country as Uganda celebrates International AIDS Day. It's 1st December, and so this is something that you should be looking at clearly. Now, also, there is a report regarding the top 100 survey as SMEs have registered economic recovery. This is another report here in the Daily Monitor, so you can grab yourself a copy and see more about that. Then also, there is today in history, Uganda Airlines flew to Germany on 1st December 1981 before it did collapse back in the time. Remember, it was just revamped a few years back here during the NRM government. Now, besides that, also President Museveni has told of teachers to stop pressurizing him over salaries. This is the Daily Monitor, reminding them that, hey, I'm working on you and things will be okay for you as well. So it is something that the president has assured everybody that this will be okay and it will be sorted. So it shouldn't be something to worry about. So this and more is through that. And then also there is prices that are still high in Arua, Gulu, despite slight fall in inflation. In the third hour of the show, we shall be giving you more updates in regards to the Uganda Bureau of Statistics report that was released in regards to the inflation in the country. So you should be sticking around to Smart Means Business this morning, as I'll be giving you a simple breakdown of how the statistics went down for the month of November. Now, also, there is 10%, that is a 10% slight ease of from the previous 10.7%. according to Uganda Bureau of Statistics, in regards to prices falling. There is a slight decrease of 10.6% from the 10.7%. Now, also, the Bank of Uganda is set to regulate SACCOs with 1.5 billion shillings in savings. This morning, you had that particular report from the news recap at 6:30. Then, lastly, from the news recap, 11 billion shillings center is set to secure petroleum data. This is the Daily Monitor and the New Vision taking you through that particular update and regards to business this morning. Well, besides that particular one, I will be giving in an insight slowly later on in regards to the traffic updates as they are happening. But as of now, that is what you can definitely get from the Smb press review. And just to remind you, today is the International AIDS Day, celebrating the day for that particular, for the patients mainly, for those who are suffering with HIV, not suffering apparently, those who are living with the HIV/AIDS, but also to remind the rest that this is something that we can prevent. The government has got an agenda that by 2030 it should be kicked out of the country so that at least the spread is minimized. However, the figures and the numbers that continue to come through from the Ministry of Health do not apparently they are colliding with what the government expects. Because if you have to look at the situations whereby the government wants to kick out the spread of HIV/AIDS by 2030, and then you look at the figures that keep on happening like every other year, and the spread now is currently so fast between students 18 years to 24 years, or between Ugandans or young people 18 years to 24 years of age. So when you look at that age bracket, that means that it's so predominant among the young people, and it's something that the young people out there, and if you're watching the show right now, it is something for you to work upon and see how you're not going to put yourself in any situation. There are quite a number of preventive measures in there. You can use condoms, protected condoms. There's also a chance for you to at least ensure that on the other way, if you're a married partner, you should be faithful to your partner, or even if you're not married yet, legally, you should be faithful to your partner. Or the other best way to do so is by abstaining, because abstaining clearly saves you from a lot of the other chances, because with abstaining, it's 100% very possible for you to prevent it through the sexually transmitted situation. So you should not be putting yourself in a condition whereby you're going to be pressured to receive or in any way to get affected with HIV. So we shall be giving you more updates as they be happening this particular morning. But as of now, we do head into a break. When I return, I do have Karibu East Africa. Not only that, I do have the Smb International News, where we'll be looking at stories making headlines away from Uganda, quite many of those, but we definitely look at the business stories as they are happening. So stick around, I'll be just right back here on Smb. Good morning.